everybody. This is Cossie with One Elegant Event. How are you all doing today? We are about to get started with our getting ready to plan event. All right, we're going to wait for a few people to join in with us. 1 second. All right, so how are you guys doing today? All right. I hope you guys are doing good today. I know we're supposed to be hearing from our governor today to find out if we have any more expansions. All right, so we're going to talk today about how you can continue to plan your events. I want to find out, hey, Adrian, how you doing? Nice to see you. We're going to talk about how here we are still at 10 in our gatherings restrictions. And I know some of you all have already planned your weddings. You've been waiting since last year to plan these weddings, and you've postponed and postponed and postponed. Well, today we're going to talk about how you can move on forward with your wedding plans, and what you can do, what you can't do. And then for those who are newly engaged, how you can start planning and make sure those plans stick. Because, you know, we are tired of replanning weddings and weddings. I'm not tired of them, but I know you guys are tired. I read your posts on all these blogs and pages and wedding help sites, and everybody is so frustrated with replanning and redoing and refixing their wedding. So today, I'm going to give you a plan that you can stick to, keep with, and be able to do your wedding, enjoy it, have a good time, and you're going to love it. All right, first, for those who have already started planning their wedding and you want to get it on with it and get it going. All right, first you need to evaluate all the things you have bought so far. So, who have you booked? Have you booked your venue? Have you booked your cake? Have you booked all these people? You need to contact all of your venues and your vendors and find out, what are they doing are they still working? Are they still feeling comfortable working during this time? Find out if your services are still, on the table for them. You need to talk with them and find out what is on their mind. What are they thinking? Are they working? Are they going to still do your wedding? And then once you gather up all your vendors, find out, according to what the state regulations is, what they have decided to do in their particular businesses, whether it be a venue, a caterer, photographer, wedding planner, florist. What have they decided to do during this pandemic as far as working? And then work together and find out a plan that is going to work best for you. I know a lot of people have been displaced because of their venues, and they can't have their full out wedding and their reception and ceremony. Well, the good news is you can still have a ceremony with your guests. You cannot have a reception. Your ceremony is actually classified as a religious celebration or ceremony. So you can still legally have your ceremony. However, all the other things that you paid for, you may not be able to have. It all depends on your venue, what they want to do, how comfortable they are doing these things, but you can have your ceremony. And there are some ways you can do and, still have your cake and still have a few drinks and still have a few appetizers during this time. And if, this all depends on what venue you've booked, who are you with, who are you working with. And right now, the whole planning process and the whole having a wedding is really about having a conversation. It's a lot of conversations going on. You need to talk with people. You need to find out what their rules are, find out what their venue rules are. Do they have higher management that have come up with their own rules that, that they need to follow, and other things of that sort. So it may not just be one person that they're talking to. It may be several people that they're getting the rules from, not just our governor. So you need to have the conversation with all your people to find out what they all feel comfortable doing. So an idea, if everybody is comfortable with and is legal to do and is not out of the regulations of this particular state. So right now, I'm just talking about Virginia. I know we have other states that watch, Alabama, Maryland, all Kentucky. A lot of different states are watching. But right now, we're going to talk about the Virginia requirements. So you can have a ceremony. However, you cannot have your reception over 10 guests. So at your ceremony, if your venue allows, if the venue management of that place allows it, you can have your ceremony indoors or outdoors because it's classified as a religious ceremony. You can have past appetizers, past cocktails at the ceremony. So when people walk in, they can get a cocktail. You can have a few past appetizers that you've already paid for. So I'm talking to people who've already paid in to their weddings and they can't get all of their money back. So this is ways you can use the money you've already spent if you want to continue to have your wedding at your particular date that you already have scheduled. So talk with them and see if it's okay to have the past appetizers. See if you can have the past drinks or have a small bar during your ceremony. So when people come, they have a glass of champagne, have a little drink, have some appetizers, and then you start the ceremony. People sit down, they sit social distance, sit with their families, sit with the people they live with, wear a mask. And if you go on any of my pages, I've posted this a couple times. There is this wonderful disposable mask company that I've been using since this pandemic has started. I used it for most of our weddings, and you've probably seen some of them posted. They have the white mask. They have them in different colors, not too many colors, but I know they have them in white and ivory and pink and a light blue and black. And they put your wedding date and name on. They kind of customize it to your wedding. And even people I know whose guests aren't really into masks or what have you, they love them. When they walk in the door, you give them this customized mask for your wedding, and they put them on. And we have never had to argue with anybody about putting these wedding masks on during the ceremony. So get you some. So I'm going to repost that today on my page so you can check it out. And so when your hostess, when they come in to sign in for your ceremony, they can, sign in. You take their temperature to make sure everybody's temperature checked. You give them a mask, one of your customized wedding masks, and they really are affordable. And they put it on and they sit down next to their family members or who they live with, have their little cocktail, have their past hors d'oeuvres, and then you start the ceremony. Now, I know people are like, I paid for all this wedding cake. What am I going to do with it? I cannot get a refund. I've already paid for all of it, or I paid for half of it, or I paid for 75% of it. So this is what you do. Most ceremonies have a unity celebration. You do the sand or the candle or the knot or whatever your unity ceremony part of your wedding is. However, since we cannot have a reception, what I've come up with for some of our clients is during that unity celebration, we have the cake up there and they do the cake cutting because you're doing it as one, as the unity celebration, as the unity ceremony. So they cut the cake. However, how will the guests get the cake? Well, your caterer was going to cut your cake anyway. So after the ceremony, your caterer cuts up the cake, put it in boxes, and everybody takes a piece of cake home with them as they leave. So you can do cute customized boxes. You can just do the white wedding boxes you see everywhere, or any other type of, to-go box. But your caterer will have to cut it, or some person who is licensed in food sanitation, so they can, do it, very safely, very cleanly, very COVID safe. So it's best if you already have your caterer there anyway doing the past hors d'oeuvres, they can cut it up and pass it out to the guests as they leave. So, that takes care of some food, some of the drinks. You have your ceremony, and the ceremony, you're like, oh, the ceremony only lasts like 15 minutes. Well, you can draw it out, have some more singing and all of these sorts. But this is just an idea so you can have a celebration. But, unfortunately, there is no way you can have the whole reception as far as we are having this tent. But during the ceremony, you can implement some of these ideas. So your ceremony is more festive, more involved, more of a celebration, even, because without the ceremony, people forget that without the ceremony, there's no reception. The whole point of the wedding is the wedding. Hello. So if you, just elaborate on the ceremony, have a good time with it. I know it's a bummer, but this is something you can do because the ceremony is considered the religious part of the event. So you can expand on the ceremony if your particular place that you've booked, your venue, is comfortable with it and your other vendors are comfortable with it. You can talk and discuss. So it's all about having discussions right now. So you need to talk with people, find out what they're comfortable with, stay within the law, definitely stay within the law, be legal about it, because we don't want to close anybody down, get anybody in trouble, make anybody pay any extra fees and fines for events that they're not supposed to be having. So these are things you can expand on in your ceremony. These are some tips for people who've already paid for all of everything, people who have paid for everything, people who have already invested in their wedding. And so you can do some things of that sort. Also, for people who are starting to plan from scratch. Okay, we don't know when these guidelines are going to change, or if they're going to change and then contract. We have no idea what this virus is going to do. So the safest place to have and book your wedding at right now, if you're starting to plan and you're having your wedding, this year in 2021, it could be a little different. Hopefully, we pray that 2022 is much different and, this virus is dying down or over, or, we have come up with a plan. So if you're having your wedding this year and you're just now starting to plan, look for a venue that is outdoors or has an indoor-outdoor component. Because according to what he has said, he is going to keep opening up. I'm talking the governor. He's going to continue to open up the outside because he feels like that is safer than being inside, which it is. And you can spread out more than inside spaces. So however, inside spaces may not grow that big, but you may be able to be outside with more people. So you get to keep more of your guests. So look for venues and book venues that are all outdoors, have covered areas, and have indoor-outdoor components. Let me see. We're going to read what Amber said. I paid for everything and have been able to move everything to 2002. That's great. And so for people who want to, who's already paid for everything, you definitely can. People are being very flexible with their contracts and everything. So if you do want to keep your event at your place that you've booked and all your vendors, you check with the venue and move it to next year. Most venues, I can't say all, but most venues are not charging any extra. They're not doing any penalty fees. They're very happy to move it to 2022 to a date that is available. And then when you talk to your other vendors, they are happy to move all of your things to 2022 also. So that is definitely an option. So with that, but if you're planning from scratch, look for this year, for this 2021, look for indoor-outdoor venues or a venue completely outside. And I do stress that you find a place that has covering because it rains a lot. Yes, right now we've had like 5-6 days of rain, but before this, it was raining every day. It was great outside. It was horrible. So, you will incur a lot of money trying to, get a tent and, rain shields that go on the tent, the sidewalls, and all of that. So you want to take that into consideration when you're looking at your outdoor venue. Do they offer a tent? Is that part of the fee? Because a lot of places, now that we're in this pandemic, have added on packages that include tents. So because more people are looking for outdoor venues because of the situation that we are in. So check that out and look for that. Also, my tip with your guest. Unfortunately, we have to start rating our guests. I mean, that sounds real bad. We have to rate our guests. Yes, we have to start rating our guests of who is the most important and who is the least important. We know all of our friends and family are very, very dear to us, and we love each and every one of them to our depths of our soul. And we don't want to start rating like they're like at the top and they're at the bottom. But unfortunately, that's something we're going to have to start doing. And what I've been telling people is to start with a list of 50, your top 50 guests. Because when he does open things up, it usually starts at 50. And so you have a list of 50. So, obviously 10, 10 is just, a handful of people, whatever. But really your real list, when you're working with your real list, when we starting to open up, start with 50. And then add 25 and then add another 25. So you start with a starter of 50 and then you have groupings of 25 until you get to the end of your list. That's a sad fact that we have to just suck it up, put on our big girl panties, and just hold on tight. But, people really, we talk about, us as people, but, we have really, really worked well with everybody during this pandemic. Everybody has been so flexible and so nice and so understanding. Everybody knows that you cannot invite everybody. They know this. Everybody knows. Nobody's mad. If you used to uninvite some people from your wedding back in the day, woo, honey, that was a scandal. I mean, they wouldn't talk to you for like years, like ever, like 20 years later. Girl, I got uninvited to her wedding. I ain't never talking to her. And they don't. But, since we're in a pandemic, you have no choice but to uninvite people right now. And people aren't mad. They're like, yeah, I get it. I'm not your mom. I'm not your aunt. I'm just, I'm a friend. I'm a friend at church. I'm your coworker. I'm like the third cousin. We barely speak or we speak whatever. So people understand. They're not getting mad. They're not going to hold a grudge. They know they're going to events. So you cannot be like, bringing in 20 extra people because there's people there popping in and out of your event counting. And they don't have badges. They don't have on badges or anything like that. They are there to watch and make sure that we are staying with the numbers. And, it's great. It's for our safety. So, I don't have a problem with that. But you cannot bend the rules really right now because people are looking, listening, and watching. And for those who are looking at this video right now, if you could like the video or love the video and share it, that would be awesome. Help us out a little bit and spread the word around. Just like and share right at the bottom and I spread it around so, some of your other friends who are engaged can get these great tips so they can stop stressing about their wedding because, this is a stressful time. So let's get back to the guests. So group them with first 50, then 25, then 25. When you send out your invitations, you're going to put on there on your RSVP card for further updates. Please continue to check our website for COVID restriction updates. So make sure you put that on your RSVP card. When you invite people on the RSVP card, I want you to put on their group number. So If they are in the first 50, they are group 1. And then you number the groups consecutively. Group 2, group 3, group 4. So when they go on their website, you're like, okay, guess what? We can now have group 1 and group 2 come to the wedding in person. But unfortunately, group 3 and group 4 and group 5, you will have to continue to watch on the live Zoom. But don't be upset, because guess what? We're going to make sure you get some wedding cake, because we're going to send you a slice if you can, if they're not too far, because you don't want to send nobody no stale cake. So somebody in town or local, they can get it within the next day or two. Great. Mail them some cake. They will love you. Definitely. And there's ways to do that. Just talk to your baker or, your coordinator. And they can help you be able to do that. And people will love you forever just for thinking that little bit of them. So put the group number on the invitation, and then you send your updates through your website, because you don't want to have to keep calling people, inviting people, uninviting people, telling people all of these things. You just go on your wedding website that you create at the beginning or now if you have not created one, and then put in your information. You don't have to put all that, my love story and all of this. It's fun. It's nice. If you have time, do it. But the most important thing is to make sure you have your updates on there. Your wedding date, the time, the place, and which group is allowed to come to the wedding. So you update that on your website. People will know. And then, everybody is well informed. Some of these wedding websites also let you RSVP actually on the website. So it makes it very, very easy for you, especially for your menu cards, because you can just print out the CSV form and the clear stickers and put them on your little tent cards and then put them on the table. So that works out really well for you. So if you find one of those websites, minted.com, that does that, and I think the Knot does that too. I'm not for sure. I have to check. I haven't used them in a while. They keep changing theirs. Go on there and you can actually have them RSVP through that website, and they'll keep them updated about whether or not they can come to the wedding. Now, with your flowers and your rentals and all this decor for your reception, you do know that most people will allow you to book them and plan and do, order your flowers and your decorations and your rentals and all of your chairs, your Chiavari chairs, your Cartier chairs, your printed dance floors, your big floral pieces, your bouquets, your boutonnieres, all of that. You usually do that early. However, book those people for your wedding, but do not give them a number until maybe a month before. Pay your deposit, because you want them. You really do. But once you put in a contract, how much of stuff you're going to have, you're going to be locked into that high number. Now, the problem is they may not have enough, which really right now they will, honestly. There's a lot available because a lot of people aren't doing a lot of things. So, even at the last minute, a lot of things are still available that before you had to lock in early because you couldn't get it that fast. So, but a month before, they could order the flowers. All their flowers can be in. All your chairs could be in. All your tablecloths can be in. A month, 1 month, not 2 weeks, not a week before, not 3 weeks. Don't tell them I said 3. Nope. 1 month before. Then you can go in and give them final details and all of that, and then you're locked in. Unfortunately, but you don't want to have to pay for 150 guest counts, which is like 15 to 25, maybe 30 tables, depending on if they're letting you have 4, 5, 6, 8 people at a table. So that's 15, 20 centerpieces when maybe you only need 7. If your centerpiece is $200 a piece, that's a lot of money you can't get back that you've already spent. So a month before, give them the numbers so you can save the most amount of money you can at the last minute. Unfortunately, a lot of this planning that you're going to be doing here within 2021. Not so much 2022. 2022, go right ahead, especially if your wedding is in like May, June, July, and so forth of 2022. Keep it going like it's, like Corona is not even happening. Do buy some masks though. Buy some masks and some hand sanitizer for the people. All right, but 2022, go ahead and do you, boo. But 2021, it's kind of like last minute planning. And I'm a planner telling you to do last minute planning, but you really already planned, but you don't set everything in stone until like 5 to 4 weeks before your wedding, unfortunately, to save the most money when it comes to number count. Catering, floral centerpieces, tablecloths, all of that. But you need to give people at least 30 days to order your stuff so it can be in on time. And they won't charge you any, extra fees for rushing. Because once you get down to 3 and 2 and 1 week before, those are rush fees. And that is really, really expensive. So you might as well have just paid for all that before. So last minute, you book the people though. Book them, pay your deposit, have them in place, know that you're going to have them, but you're going to give them your numbers and talk with them, have your consults and chat with them and give them your design ideas. If you don't have a planner and you're doing all this on your own, give them your ideas 5 to 4 weeks before. And then, unfortunately, they're going to want all their money then, but you should be saving it in a wedding savings account. So, however you're not spending and paying people off and on, during this time, you still need to act like you're paying people because you know how much you're going to pay. You know what your wedding budget is. So put it in a savings account because literally like the month or 2 months before your wedding, you're going to be like swiping and paying a whole lot of money at the last minute. But you'll be saving money because you didn't know really how many people you could actually have. And if you wind up having only this ceremony scenario, like I had mentioned before, then all those tablecloths and centerpieces and all of that you're not going to need because you're only decorating for the ceremony, which you can go all out. Ceremonies can be super, super, super fabulous too. So if you couldn't have your reception, you can throw all that decor into your ceremony and then do it like that. Do it big. You can still have your pictures. It's still wonderful. It's still glorious. It is a shorter amount of time, but you still had a celebration. People came. They saw you getting married. It's a great time. But bonus, guess what? You can go on that honeymoon the same day. You can catch that flight, be out, and be with your boo on your honeymoon, enjoying the lavish life. Because you can travel. You can still go to places. Things are opening up. People want you to travel. It's actually very safe to go to these all-inclusive resorts. They have gone above and beyond. I tell you, I would not lie to you. They have gone above and beyond to make their resorts super safe for you. They want you there. You need to be safe between, during the travel part, the plane, the shuttles, all of that. Wash your hands, wear your mask, wear your shield. Y'all see me travel. Y'all see my pictures when I'm traveling. I got on my shield. I got on my paper mask, my fancy mask. I got on all these things. I got my gloves on. I'm wiping down, sanitizing, spraying down. I'm not playing. No. But you got to do all that. Then you get to the resort, and then you can, live a fabulous life. Enjoy the sun, swim, do all these things. There's not a lot of people around. Usually the resorts are only at 50% capacity, most of them. And even, they're not really that crowded. And honestly, a lot of them aren't really that crowded because people are still scared to travel. So, it's a lot less people out at these resorts currently. So you can really enjoy yourself, feel safe, be safe, actually, and then come back home. You do have to get COVID tests before you leave and COVID tests to get back home, and make sure you have your passports and all these things that you normally have, but you can do all that. So these are some of the tips that I have for you. I hope this helps. So what did we learn today? That you can get married still right now, if your venue allows. So it's up to your venue. It's up to your venue. But you only can have your ceremony because it's a religious ceremony, and there's no counts with that. But it's up to your venue, not to me, not to Northrum, but to your venue if they feel comfortable with doing that. And then rate your guests. Unfortunately, you got to rate your guests. So rate them with 50, then 25. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, Group 5. Over here, stumbling over numbers. A mess. And then, just plan late if you're doing it in 2021. But book your vendors early so they know they are secure. And then if it's 2022 or 2023, plan like you would normally plan and have a good time. But, I know I'm a planner, and, I'm going to push hiring a planner because really there's a lot of details out here right now that are all over the place. And if you have one, it's up to them to help fix your problems. Can they fix all of your problems? We're going to do our very best within the law. Maybe break a few. I'm just playing. No, but we're going to do all we can within the law to help you have the wedding of your dreams when you want to have it. And if we can't, we're going to do our very best to reschedule it with everybody that you have and help you keep most of the money that you have, because we are here to help you. And you don't want to go through this by yourself right now. You really don't want to go through this right now by yourself. It's a lot. It is a lot. And I keep up with all the rules. So for somebody who's got to do an extra job and then plan a wedding and you're not a professional planner, man, whoo, honey, child, I don't know how y'all doing it. But, hire you somebody who knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about. Hire me, or hire some other planner that you feel like they know what they're talking about to help you get through this planning during this pandemic and thereafter. Because we are definitely here to help you. All the wedding professionals are out here to help you. All the venues are out here to help you. We are all trying to work together because we want you to have the celebration that you have dreamed of, or something very, very close that you could be proud of and take pictures of and remember and be happy to remember. Okay? So if you have any other questions, let me know. Inbox me. Please share the video, like the video. Come on, do some likes. I don't see any likes. Like the video, love the video, and share it with your friends, your engaged friends, your ones who are, they stressing. So share it with them, and I'll see you next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys. Mwah.